welcome to Bingeworthy. Today we are talking about Aquarius. It was a 2-season show starring David Duchovny, and we watched it on Netflix.
Yes, it was actually an NBC
originally?
show.
Okay. Well, wait, we got to introduce ourselves. I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
And up front, let's just tell you, you can follow us on Twitter at SMG Binges, Binges. We also have a Facebook page. You can find us there. And if you want to leave us a voicemail, go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, search for the Bingeworthy Podcast. It's under the TV podcasts. And in the upper right-hand corner is a place you can leave a voicemail. So you can give us a message, talk about a show you want us to do, or you can give us some kind of feedback.
Yeah, share your thoughts about whether you liked this show.
Aquarius.
Not
or
our show,
one.
but the show.
Yeah, not our show.
About.
Please keep that to yourself.
we know. We're
know.
well aware of our limitations.
So there you go. That's the business part of it up front. Martha, what do you want to talk about with Aquarius?
All right. Well, yeah, let's see. It was created by John McNamara for NBC, and it aired May 28th, 2015. To September 10th, 2016, at which point it was canceled.
And I was thinking it was going to be just a straight up 2-episode thing, but
2-episode? You mean 2 season? Okay.
But
no,
you can tell it got canceled.
It was canceled, and it did though its first year win a Critics' Choice Television Award for Most Exciting New Series.
Really?
So you would think like that they would have, if the critics were liking it, you would think they would have given it more of a shot than just 2 seasons. But I do understand why they canceled. It was, it seemed like they were really struggling with David's character, Sam Hodiak.
Yes.
And they really just didn't quite have him fleshed out well enough, and I don't think that was the actors' choices or the actors' fault. I really think it was the writing and the.
That was one of the things that I noticed about the show. There were, well, here, can I read the description of the show real fast, just so we can get it out of the way?
Go for it.
So, Aquarius, this is from IMDb, a gritty 1960s cop drama about LAPD detective Sam Hodiak, David Duchovny, and his trainee who must deal with gangs, brutal crime, changing times, family crises, and unhinged manipulative, I completely botched that one, small-time crook Charles Manson.
Yeah. So
who's slowly building his cult.
So Sam's sidekick is Brian Schaaf, who we really liked, and he has a very interesting character arc. And then Charmaine, who we loved.
Yeah,
and
she was great.
She
was from one of those mermaid shows from Australia, like H2O.
Yeah, her name is Claire Holt. And I think I got that one right. Let me double check myself.
I know it's Claire.
Yeah, Claire Holt is Charmaine Tully. And she was one of my favorite characters on the show.
In fact, I thought they were with her. I thought that they were going to just make her kind of, she's the pretty cop, and they were going to play off of that.
No.
And
she was a strong
I
character.
think that in the pilot, that might have been what they were doing. By like the 3rd episode, they went, we need to do a lot more with her.
Yeah.
And they made her a really interesting character.
Yes.
Now, one thing I'll say about the show to get us going, it started out, it was way better in the beginning, but it started out very much of like a period, almost like a period piece, like a Mad Men about this LAPD cop or detective and the Charles Manson story.
Right.
It became a little bit more of a regular cop show because
more
each
procedural.
Each week it seemed like, okay, Sam is dealing with some
serial killer or some, or like
you'd watch him solve that, and then
something.
it had this little window dressing of the Charles Manson thing, which didn't necessarily fit in there. Like
it was a little weird. It was almost like two shows.
Yeah.
In one. Like they didn't have them. Sam didn't interact very much with the Manson people.
No.
And so it was a little weird. Like if Manson is supposed to be the crux of this story, which it was, then what is Sam doing there? And why wasn't he actively seeking them out? And they had interaction. Like Manson was never somewhere they couldn't find him. It was just weird.
They even did an episode where
a little weird.
Manson and Hodiak almost buddied up
a
little. It was bizarre.
Yeah.
So it had a very soap opera-y feel to it as it went on.
Some of it, parts of it.
Right. But like Charmaine's story.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely was like, it was more B-grade cop story, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
And the way it resolved was really fantastic. Like it had moments where you're like, I mean, I know we were both yelling out like, oh my gosh, what is going on? That was great.
Yeah.
The Manson stuff, it's interesting because I think the actor was really interesting. I think that
I think they got the chaos of it.
Yeah, but you know what they did wrong?
Yeah.
Why not make the characters the actual characters from the family?
Bothered the heck out of me. There was no historical accuracy. Well, what's the point?
There was historical, like, they were skating around it, like his relationship. There's a whole storyline with Dennis Wilson.
Right.
Yeah, that really happened. Did it happen the way they showed it?
No.
I don't think so. The girl Emma,
she was cast brilliantly.
Really well, yes. And the story with her in the first season, the first season is definitely better from this standpoint than the second. The second is when it falls off the rails a lot. I mean, as far as like having that Mad Men feel.
agree, but that first season was when we kept saying they don't know what to do with this character.
Yeah, no, they were writing the characters, and like David Duchovny was doing a really good job with the character. But
for what he had to work with, but there was nothing to work with. When you see him come off of Hank, Moody, and Californication, and Fox Mulder on X-Files, and you see this, and you go, what the heck? Like, they're wasting him.
Yeah, he can play the long game with a character and
develop it. Hank was nothing like Fox.
There were moments.
And they were nothing like Sam, but Sam was nothing. He skated all over the place with his personality, and it was not in a way that made him look like a loose cannon. It was just looked like he was absolutely lost trying to figure out how to play this character.
I agree. And as long as we're talking about that, the weird writing, the character of Shafe, I think the actor was exceptional.
Oh, he was. Absolutely.
I could watch a show with that guy.
Yeah.
All
and
day.
I'll get you his.
But the storyline they gave him, what is it?
Gray Damon.
Okay. He was great in this. He was great in this.
Oh, boo.
But the arc they gave him became bunk, and
I liked it.
I got so tired of it because here's the deal with what was going on with his story. it was flipping back and forth kind of quickly. It was also leading to a dead end. We didn't know that it was going to be done after 2 seasons. I was saying, look, they've got to wrap it up. Maybe it is supposed to only be 2 seasons. That would have made sense with this character. If this thing had gone on, let's say it goes 5 seasons, where do you go with his story?
Oh,
you know what I mean?
They absolutely could have gone on with his storyline. I had no issue with his storyline. No.
He was so destructive at some point.
There are so many. Okay, talking about Breaking Bad, you didn't think that Walt was destructive, and then he got all those seasons out of it.
Yeah, but wait. But Breaking Bad is only like 1 year in his life.
Okay.
this would have gone on, if it had gone 5 seasons, this would have gotten all the way into like the late 60s.
No, you don't know that. We didn't get very far in 2 seasons.
I mean, into the 70s. Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Oh, sure you did.
No.
Because in the second season, they're leading up to the Manson family murders, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the second season starts out with 18 months in the future. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that first season was like at least a year. And the second season is 18 months. So you are talking 2.5 years. That was almost in real time. So in order to tell all those stories they were telling, he's not going to run into a serial killer or that every week. It's just not going to happen.
No.
You know where it would have been stronger? Now that I'm thinking about it, you know what this show, if it had taken the same framework, even the Manson thing, just fix that Manson storyline so it was more historically accurate. Tell us a story like The Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Give us because that's what they were alluding to. They were trying to build this
elite team, like separate team.
A separate team, the detectives that are working together, but they're this dysfunctional.
Yes.
And they were implying
and
that
they break the rules and all of that.
And it didn't have to be exactly like The Shield. We've already seen The Shield. But take that and show their lives, and then around them is this chaos of late 60s
all the turmoil.
LA.
But you're saying that you didn't believe that the way they were working his character could have withstood 5 seasons for Shafe, and I completely 100% disagree with you. I think that they absolutely he was in that time. What we were seeing in the second season especially were situations I'm not going to spoil. Okay. But there were situations that were causing him to make the choices he was making. He went through a period where he was okay and was able to function, and he would be able to function again. He was just getting bombarded.
Okay.
Does that mean then that once those things were resolved, that he wouldn't have been able to pull it together?
Yeah.
Oh my God, 100%.
And actually, the one woman said that about
he had already done it.
She had said, "You're going to bounce back. You're going to have this repeatedly. Just know to do this." Okay.
But he had things going on personally that were causing him to
maybe that's what I'm reacting to is the Hodiak storyline being being written so oddly.
Yes.
I think this character was written better.
Yeah.
But because
you mean Shafe.
Mm-hmm. But because the Hodiak story Hodiak character had these issues, maybe I'm projecting that onto Shafe
I
too
agree.
a little bit.
I think
because I didn't think Charmaine had these issues.
No.
I thought Charmaine remained Charmaine.
She was so perfect.
And became super interesting.
Yes.
You know who never changed and was written perfectly was
Cup.
Yeah,
I love him.
He had the best line.
He had the best line. He did. And he's played.
Was it in The Crack?
Oh my God. Don't you dare.
I can say that line.
No, because now you're ruining it for everybody.
It's so funny.
All right, hang on. Let me find his name.
He was fantastic.
So...
Well, and also when it started, I wasn't sure about that actor because they kind of
Chance Kelly.
They kind of downplayed Chance Kelly.
Yeah.
Made him more of a...
They kind of, in the beginning, they made him a caricature of that. But, he didn't. Oh, my God. He evolved.
He evolved, and I think the actor just was like, I'm gonna build this relationship with Hodiak. Because, once again, I think David Duchovny was trying, because you watched him kind of change the character here and there, like, he was really trying to build a character out of this.
But he didn't have much to work with.
No.
And I think that he was probably also struggling to make sure that he wasn't Mulder.
Right.
But he was. I'm like, they were so different. But at the same time, different. Sam didn't have anything to really grip onto. There was nothing that really got you to see Sam as a sympathetic character, as like Hank Moody in Californication did a lot of very despicable things.
Yeah, but
he had a moral compass, and he had
and I think Hodiak
he
did,
had
but
like
I think
a line he didn't cross, and Hodiak just didn't. They
didn't define it
nothing.
enough.
It was
and
just
they also
weird.
Implied, like by the end, they were implying that he was a dirty cop.
Yeah,
he was not a dirty cop.
We didn't see those things. We saw him, maybe make a couple of questionable,
maybe bend
moves,
the rules here
but
and there.
Nothing that would make you think that he would be, that there was anything.
No, and once again,
bad.
When they talked about his history and that, it made his actions make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I was buying all that. It was just he was written very.
It was
oddly.
weird.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
And the Manson thing, going back to that, like, okay, this is what I was going to say before. So you've got this Emma character.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell what happened to Emma, but
she's one of Manson's girls.
Right. And she is one of the lead characters in the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the deal, though. I was reading about this, and they were talking about how some of the girls equate to Manson family members.
Yes. And
Emma was completely made up.
By the way, her name is Emma Dumont, is the actress.
Okay. She was completely made up.
Which is so dumb. Like, you have all these people to work with. Did they just not want to have to pay?
I don't know.
For the
or
use of the story or something?
Could be.
Or they'd have to pay. Maybe those people are still alive, and they would have to pay them for the rights to use their name.
The show did run into trouble with Sharon Tate, who was one of the murder victims. Her sister came out and slammed this show. She said, "You're capitalizing on my sister's death.
Mm-hmm.
You're not handling it properly. This is disgusting." She really went after him. And I get that. Like if you had somebody that a tragedy had happened to, and you were watching what they did on this show, I might be pretty upset too.
Yeah.
Once again, maybe they shouldn't have done Manson. They should have done more of a Shield or The Wire type show set in this time period. Let the Manson thing be playing out when you're also dealing with these other things that are playing out. Take real crimes from that time and make it seem like this, like Hodiak and Shafe, and like they're dealing with all of this, because there was a lot going on right then.
Well, and they totally dropped because the Black Panthers and the whole race.
Yeah, they were really building that up.
Was like throughout, and then all of a sudden it was never mentioned again.
Right.
And it was
then
really
just
weird.
Manson saying racist stuff.
Right. It was when he never did before. It was very weird. So I just think
Season 2 is when they brought that in. What
killed this show was the writing. It was just convoluted. It was all over the place, and it was not it just didn't appear to be very well thought out. The acting was fantastic. I liked the characters, like the whole, I wanted to really love this show. I loved it. I loved and the music.
The music.
Oh my
great.
gosh, it was fantastic.
And they spent a fortune on that music.
Yeah, that was great. The whole feel of it, the production, all of it. I mean, it was, but there was something very broken in the writing.
Yeah.
And it was not enough to keep me in. And we got to we finished both seasons, but there was something that, and I would go through it again. Like if I hadn't, if I didn't want my time back.
No, I didn't either. And I was interested, like by the time we got to the final episodes, I was really interested. I wanted to see what was going to happen to these characters. I also thought it was going to wrap up.
It did not.
It did not. Although, you know what?
It did. I know.
In a lot of ways,
bit.
It's actually a very satisfying ending.
In certain storylines were definitely, I felt, tied up to a satisfactory conclusion.
Yes.
And then there was this whole other part that I went, are they leaving this open if they want to do a movie, or if they're going to were they thinking they would get picked up? If the audience yells loud enough, maybe they thought they'd get picked up by Netflix or somebody, and they would get made again. But I wouldn't have picked them up. No. If I were a streaming service, I wouldn't have looked at that and thought, yeah, you know what, this needs to be continued. There's something seriously
broken in it.
wrong.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? It has all the earmarks of one of these shows, like a Breaking Bad or The Wire, or one of these shows that you go, Mad Men I mentioned, where you're like, this is prestige TV.
Yeah.
This had the earmarks of prestige TV.
And you want to be immersed in that world.
But it didn't
We weren't
happen.
alive at that time. I wanted to go there and be like, wow, what was it like in California at that time? And it was really
a detective in LA.
Right.
It's like if you go back and you watch what was that? Not Hollywoodland, LA Confidential, which is way earlier, like the 40s. You play there's a video game, LA Noire, which is this awesome video game where you're a detective in LA back in the 30s and 40s. It's ripe for good storytelling. And here it could have been great, but it missed that mark. It's really a missed opportunity. And I do think that part of that is that they did the dual storyline with Manson, and then it forced this senator or whatever he was into it. And that just it became a convoluted mess.
To me, the worst storyline was Ken.
Yeah, that was
he was painful. Not the actor. I don't think the actor did a bad job, but the writing for that character was so
all over the place,
bizarre, and it was just, oh my gosh, it was painful a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And when it wasn't painful, it was boring.
And didn't it seem like they were trying to make like social statements through this character? But you really didn't. Watching it, you're kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, it didn't have the impact that it should have.
This could have been a one of those shows that is talked about forever. Like,
right. Or would have this life on Netflix. Like we just, when we watched *Halt and Catch Fire*.
Oh, so
which
good.
Is amazing. That's a show that deserves, 10 years from now, people go back and watch it. And
30 years, 40 years. Oh my gosh. Like,
wow.
It was such a snapshot of that time period. This was a mess.
This is one where you go, oh, I'm a David Duchovny fan. I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
But.
All right. Well, let's rate it.
Not great.
Let's rate it.
Okay, well, we got to do our scale for binge worthy. So, Martha, where do you rate it?
I personally, if you, it's only 26 episodes.
Okay.
So it's not a big commitment. If you like David Duchovny, if you like cop shows, if you're interested in that time period of the late 60s, I absolutely say it's worth the watch. I would not say binge the hell out of it, but like, it's worth the watch. Go check it out. The first season was better in some ways, and then the second season Sam seemed to get the main character seemed to get a little better, but the rest of it fell apart. So, but it's still fun.
The second season is really good.
Yes. So I would say it is worth the watch if you meet those criteria. Like, if you don't like David Duchovny and can look past some of these character issues, oh my gosh, his arms. Okay, we'll just say that.
God.
And every time we watch, I'd be like, oh my gosh, shut up, that shirt. Okay, like, he needs to wear that shirt again. Yeah. So if you're crushing on David Duchovny, yes, go for it.
Okay.
It's absolutely worth it. If you like that time period, if you like cop shows, it's fun. It's fun. It's not. Don't go into it thinking
it's cotton candy
that it's not substantial. You're not going to leave it going, oh my gosh, like, I want 10 more seasons. Like, you're not going to. The chances are you're not going to have that. So you're saying... I say it's worth the watch.
I'm actually going to rate it the exact same way. It's
worth the watch. Copycat.
I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to add to that.
Okay.
If you're watching it the way we were, and you're kind of... Like, I was enjoying it enough, I'm going to say it's worth the watch, but I'm going to say, if you are finding that, like, you're intrigued at all... It might be a binge the heck, only because I think if you stop and think about it,
you wouldn't go back.
You're not going back. we almost, we only went like a day between watching episodes. And if we didn't have this show, I was almost tempted to say, well, let's give it a rest and we'll come back.
And we often did 3 episodes in a time. Like we would sit and just binge 3 episodes. Right. It is fun. It is. And there's something there. So there's enough there. So that's why it's worth the watch.
But if you do fall into it,
go
binge
kind of
the
quickly.
Heck only because I think you'll enjoy it more. I think if you give it time to think and you get away from it, you're less likely to want to go back.
I agree.
So that's it.
Cool.
All right. So we have our verdict on Aquarius. Once again, follow us on Twitter at SMG Binges. Find us on Facebook. Find us on our website, southgatemediagroup.com. Go to the TV shows button under podcasts, and you will find Bingeworthy there. And or just follow the links on our website too. They're on our Facebook page. And you can leave a voicemail there too. If you want to send us an email, you can send it directly to us at southgatemediagroup@gmail.com. And that is it. Martha?
Yes?
Back to the couch.